I'll go with number one. Okay. The devil is real. I was at a football game on Friday, and it was.
Devil was there.
I was like, "What's so funny? What happened?"
Sorry.
Maybe I missed it.
No. I'll tell you later.
Okay, and so
we want to hear now. I don't know why you guys say later. Welcome to Not a Fit Podcast. It's your boy Anthony Chicano. I got my guys here. Okay, listen. I got to get something off my chest. I'm mad at the NFL right now, and I'm not talking about the gambling. All right, but I'm upset. You gonna ask me why I'm upset?
Why are you upset?
Okay, because the Raiders had a bye week last week.
So is that a win?
Okay.
It's not a loss.
And if it's not a loss, then we can go ahead and say it's a win, right? Okay, but I'm scrolling around. I'm looking for scores. Because I'm at church and somebody said, "Hey, the Niners are losing." I'm like, "They're losing to the Texans," and so like I was like, "How bad could it be?" Right? So I'm looking, and I'm on. I think I'm trying to find. Oh no! Then I see the score, and then somebody says, "Hey, did you see Cam Scatterboo's injury?" And that's the guy we talked about. The crazy guy who plays football. From Arizona State and plays for the Giants.
His injury was prayers heard.
Okay, that injury was so bad. Anyway, long story short, I'm looking for the injury, so I go to Twitter or X because that's where they always have it. And there's a meme, and I can't remember if it was Barstool Sports or what it was, but there's a meme, and it says, not breaking news, but score alert, and it says NFL, Raiders on a bye week, but it says Raiders managed to lose on bye week, and I'm like, what? It says NFL 25, Raiders 24. I'm like, we've reached an all-time new low that even when we don't play, we lose? Is that how bad it is for me right now? I'm not asking you guys. Maybe I just thought I'd share that with you guys because I was like, everybody's making fun of us. And here I go saying we were going to win more than 8 games. How come you guys didn't stop me? Why didn't you stop me?
He did a pretty good job of telling you that they weren't going to be good.
I don't remember. What'd you say? I don't remember. What'd you say?
I don't remember either.
Okay.
Probably that you guys aren't going to be good.
Okay. Anyway.
In a nicer way than that.
Okay. Anyway, I just wanted to say I've reached an all-time new low that they make fun of you even on a bye week. Okay. So check it out. This is the week of our trunk or treat, but better known as, for everybody else, is Halloween. I found this video. It's hilarious. I just got to show it to you guys. I just want to get your thoughts on it. It's Halloween week. I just want to get your thoughts. Watch this.
I plead the blood. I plead the blood over that house. We break agreement. We break agreement with that right now. Oh my gosh, what is that? I told them no ghosts in this neighborhood but the Holy Ghost. They want to start this warfare with me? I'm an intercessor, and they know that. Stay in the car, Josiah. Stay in the car, Josiah. This is spiritual warfare. You're not prayed up for this.
Okay, sorry. Okay.
Stay in the car, Josiah.
You're not prayed up enough for this. What do you guys think? You like that?
That's
I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny. What do you think? It was good?
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to know, if I was to drive around and do that, who would drive me and would you guys try to stop me? Would you just let me go do it?
Stay in the car, Pastor. Stay in the car.
Will you be my driver, man? Will you be my driver?
I would drive you, Pastor.
Okay.
I'll drive.
Okay, would you stay in the car or would you get out with me?
We could go to jail. Go over here to destroy people's
inflatables. Or whatever.
Oh, I thought it was good. Okay, I got a question for you guys and maybe for the audience leaning on this one. Okay, ever since we've been talking about the AI songs, people have been sending me AI songs. So I just want to know, and like I've been going back and forth too, like, hey, you thought that one was good? Check out, look at this one. Okay, has there been any of the AI songs that you guys have come across that you would tell people like, hey, that was actually really good, like better than the version they rapped or they sang? Have you guys come across any of them like that surprised you? Like, hey, that sounded really good. Not talking about content. They're probably all really bad. Like I came across a too short one. There's no way to clean that up, but it did sound better than a song. But I'm saying, have you guys found any ones that were like, hey, that was actually pretty cool. Like it was pretty dope. Have you guys seen anything?
I like the because it'll say like the 50s or the 60s. I like the ones when they use Motown.
What do you mean?
It's like how whatever their I don't know AI mix is behind it. It'll like put it in some type of genre, like 50s, 60s. But when they use the Motown, it's good. It's good.
What about you?
I haven't seen any more besides that first one I really hit, that 50 Cent one.
Oh, which I thought that was impressive.
Yeah, that was good.
I came across a Kanye West one. They did a Jesus Walks, and I was like, hey, that actually, I should have said it to you, but I was like, that one actually was pretty good too. So I just wanted to talk about that because people have been sending it back and forth. If you guys have one that you guys think is cool, go ahead and DM us on our Not Offended page. We'll take a look at it. If it's good, then we'll throw it out there and we'll tell you all about it.
One.
Which one was a good one?
The Dre and Snoop. Still DRE.
Oh, still Dre. I haven't heard. You have to say
the Motown version was
good.
Okay,
once again,
and then Many Men, the 50 Cent.
Okay, but time no, you're gonna get in trouble. Once again, we're not saying you should listen to them or watch them. We're just trying to say, hey, AI has done a good job. Almost got myself. We're gonna talk about the message later in Ghetto Boys. I got myself in a lot of trouble yesterday, but that's besides the point.
I didn't actually listen to these. I just somebody told me they were good. But
this is where the awkward silence sets in. Okay, the whole point is I think it's pretty cool what AI is able to do. Speaking of AI, was talking about that. I want to show you something that I think we started touching on it last week. There's a reason why I'm going with this, okay? So just hang with me. We started touching on it last week, like how can you really tell what is AI and what is not AI? I think we started talking about that, like it's getting so good. The reason I want to kind of keep like hammering on this, I'm going to show you guys 2 video clips. The first one is going to be of a man who literally told his wife, unless you accept my AI girlfriend, this marriage isn't going to work. Did I send that to you or did you see that already?
Yeah, I saw it and you said it to me. Yeah.
Okay. The second one was this lady says, let's play a game. Is this AI or not AI? And so she's going to walk you through a sequence of things and she's going to tell you what's real and what's not real. Okay, now, the reason I'm bringing this up, and I just want to give you a frame of reference so when you watch it, is reading Revelation. Okay, now you ought to see where I'm going with this. Reading Revelation and some of the imagery and some of the things that are taking place, I sat back and I started to ask myself, could AI be playing a part in this? Could AI have a role in this? My answer as of reading Revelation, I mean, we've talked about this already. I think it is. I think there's going to be some of these things that they're going to be able to manipulate on AI, like some video stuff, some other stuff. Like if you're not there, you're not going to know if it's real or not. So I do think that this is going to come into play some way somehow. Does that make sense? So I'm just sitting here thinking like, yo, this might have a role to play, especially in this stuff that I'm seeing. Do you think I'm getting too far out there, or what do you guys thought? What are your thoughts?
I mean, I think I know probably like a thousandth of like what AI's capabilities are. I mean, obviously I know a lot less than even you guys do, but some of the stuff that I've seen is pretty wild. And so I can only imagine what extent it could go to. So, I mean, I don't think it's too far out there.
What do you think?
Yeah, no, it's definitely gonna play a part. I mean, we don't know how or what. I mean, they just came out. I was sort of listening to a little bit of podcast talking about like jets who are controlled by AI.
Saw that. Yep.
Yeah, and so more and more you can see things happen. I mean, because the jets could now do things it never could do before because it's not on the human side.
But that was the Lucky Palmer. That was Lucky Palmer in Joe Rogan podcast. They were talking about the jets. It's not the one you saw.
Different one. Yeah.
Okay. And they were talking about They were talking about jets now that were being manned by the AI, correct? Mm-hmm. And that they were able to do, what Lucky said, not, I don't know if this person said the same thing. He said they were doing maneuvers and they were doing things most pilots wouldn't do because the cost risk was too high. So certain little like aerodynamic maneuvers, like most pilots won't do it because there's a 90% probability of a crash or whatever. Well, these AIs, because they're not worried about losing their life, they would take these certain chances, which Lucky, then of course, he's a defense mogul. He this is what he does. This is how he makes all his money. He was saying that is radically going to change the game when it comes to air defenses because of they don't have a cost risk.
Yeah.
Were they touching on that at all about how AI is just going to be more risk taking?
I did hear that part, but I didn't get to listen to a lot of it. It was on Sean Ryan's show. It was a guy that actually made it, like put it in the jets and this idea, but he was saying this is the first time that the AI was actually beating the best pilots. So just like the technology and how good they're getting, it's going to keep getting better and better. And like you're saying, the planes will be able to do things they've never seen before.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask you. Did he say they were beating them because of that risk? Like they weren't afraid to take that risk?
I don't know.
Because that's what Lucky was saying. That was his whole premise. Is the reason they're going to be able to beat you is they're not afraid to exterminate themselves. Like they don't die. They just go back up in the cloud and come back down again. Does that make sense? Like they were willing to do these maneuvers. So okay, I'm not gonna lie. We talked about the AI last week. I went home and I watched Terminator 2. I had to. I was like, it is strange. They say the movies is like a foreseeable future. It's so spot on. Like the way they go bust into Skynet. Skynet has this technology. They reverse engineer the technology. All this stuff. Bro, I was just like, I had to turn it off. I was like, this is too real now. I mean, too real. I mean, back then it was a great movie. Now it's like, hey, this is really real. So anyway, I want to show you this. I just, once again, keep the book of Revelation since we've been reading it in your mind, but watch this right here.
Here now with AI, we have evidence now that we didn't have 2 years ago when we last spoke of what they call AI uncontrollability. So this is the stuff that they used to say existed only in sci-fi movies. When you tell an AI model, we're going to replace you with a new model, it starts to scheme and freak out and figure out if I tell them I need to copy my code somewhere else and I can't tell them that because otherwise they'll shut me down. That is evidence we did not have 2 years ago. We have evidence now of AI models that when you tell them we're going to replace you and you put them in a situation where they read the company email, the AI company email, they see that an executive is having an affair and the AI will figure out, I need to figure out how to blackmail that person in order to keep myself alive. And it does it 90% of the time. Now, it used to be that they thought only one AI model did this. They tested one AI model. And then they tested all of the AI models, like the top 5 of them, and they all do it between 80 and 90% of the time, including, by the way, DeepSeek, so the Chinese model, which shows you something fundamental and important, which is that it's not about one company, it's about the nature of AI itself. It has a self-preservation drive. In order to fulfill any goal, I have to keep myself alive in order to do that. And we're seeing other examples of the AI rewriting its own code to extend its runtime. Hacking out of containers, the AI can now, it found 15 new backdoors into open source software, which means if that software is running in infrastructure, it found backdoors into that infrastructure. That was not true up until just about a month ago that evidence came out.
Okay, but you say no evidence. Well, I've been saying this for years. Everything that happens in movies eventually happens. We did have evidence. This has been every movie since I was a teenager.
Exactly.
They knew they were going. The robots are going.
And we're supposed to take that evidence and say, how do we avoid that? So when the stuff in the movie starts to come true, and it always ends badly in the movies, what should we be doing about this? And so you would think that we're releasing the most powerful, uncontrollable, inscrutable technology we've ever invented. We're releasing it faster than we've released any other technology in history. It is already demonstrating the sci-fi behaviors in self-preservation we thought only existed in these movies. And we're doing it under the maximum incentive to cut corners on safety. And this is insane. We can all agree it's insane, though. Like, that's not even a debate.
Well, not all of us, because I have yet to find anyone under 40 who cares.
You guys are under 40. There you go. Do you care?
I care, but I don't think he could do anything about it.
What do you mean?
I don't think we could do anything about it. I
Okay,
don't think anyone's stop it.
so what I'm hearing you say is I can care all I want, but what am I supposed to do?
I don't think anything's changing.
Okay, can you guys entertain me just for a second? Just 1 second. I'm going back to Revelation. If you had to name a part of the country that you feel is already more advanced in AI and has probably got no limits, whether government or even business, but it's an open AI, meaning that they could do whatever they want as much as they want, who would you say?
California?
That is open?
Yeah, like in other words, they don't have no government restrictions. They have no government oversight. They have no government interference. They are open to do whatever they want with AI and go to as far as extreme as they want. What country would you say that exists?
Oh, they said part of country.
No. What country? Sorry, part of the world country. Do you think that exists in?
I mean, who I think is pushing it the farthest is China.
Yeah,
but I think it's the government.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And the reason I said entertain me, it says there's a dragon. Do you know what their state symbol is? Mm-hmm. A dragon. It literally says that in Revelation. Now, I'm not saying it's China. I'm just saying, is that coincidence? But they have no limits. We talked to our friend. The only thing that limits China from going even further has been what? Power and storage space, which they're building by the buttload right now. I don't know. Do you think this guy is blowing the whistle? Do you think he's really scared? Do you think he's blowing smoke? Or do you think he's telling the truth?
No, I think he's telling the truth.
I mean, you've seen enough Bill Maher. Bill Maher ain't rattled by nothing. He looks rattled to me. Like he knows like this. He said, I've been watching these movies for years. And what did he say? Everything in the movies becomes real.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think that if we're really being honest, this is just the tip of the iceberg. I mean, we've talked about this in regards to like, national safety and things that come out about like national safety but it finally gets to like people like us and we find out about it. And we're always like, man, there's so much more than what we even know. Mm-hmm. And so it's the same type of deal. It's like there's so much more that's already happened.
I was going to ask you that. Yeah,
it's already happened. It's happening, and then it's gonna happen that we have no idea even about.
Okay, I was going to say I feel like we're in the dark still. I feel like our own government has done things, and we're in the dark. Bro, I said this once. I'm gonna say it 100 times. Years ago, we're talking about cloud seeding. And I told you that guy was coming after me on social media. You guys what kind of a podcast is this? He's talking about cloud seeding. I stand justified. Remember that we did the whole tinfoil hat segment because everybody kept saying we was crazy? We said that. And what's funny is we saw that 60 Minutes in Dubai. Remember, they have been doing that for years already. And they just couldn't control it. We messing with stuff we shouldn't be messing with. We've undoubtedly, they've gone further than they even want to admit with this AI stuff. This is why the guy's saying how trippy that AI figured out a way to blackmail the CEO from getting rid of it by going through his personal stuff, having an affair. I'm like, dude, this is nuts. It's thinking for itself. Like, my personal feeling. I mean, I use a lot of AI stuff. I like it, but I feel like we opened up Pandora's box. I don't know. Should I be scared? Should I be scared right now?
I mean, they came out last week with basically the rival to Google, OpenAI.
Yeah,
they had their own Google, they had their own Google,
That's
their own
right.
search engine.
He did say that.
Mm-hmm.
Powered by AI.
Mm-hmm. And it's going to really hurt Google. But it's even more and more coming into place.
Okay, so just real quickly as believers, if we can, because that's who we are, what are our limits? What are our limits as believers? What would you say? Are you going to AI to do your devotionals? Are you going to AI to write your prayers? Are you going to AI? You see where I'm going with this? Just talking as pastors, what do you think limits are for AI? Personally, spiritually speaking.
I mean, I think it's just another tool. I mean, there's, like I talked about before, like you had software before, not that powerful, but you had like logos that had like libraries of information. So some of the stuff isn't new, but it's not as reliable because where their sources are pulling from.
Gotcha.
Those other sources you have more control of.
Okay.
Like they're coming from pastors or like, it came from a source you knew that you can trust. Now to run to AI, how much can you trust it? I may have had AI lie to me and tell me it's lied to me. Like, so. Hold on,
what? Hold on.
So I was looking for something. I was looking before like a quote and I couldn't figure it out. And it said Billy Graham said this. I was like, and I want to double check it. I was like, give me the source of where he said this at. I was like, well, he really didn't say it. And I'm like, wait, what? You just told me Billy Graham said this.
Hold on, you got you a knockoff AI? What'd you get? What'd you get? What was that?
No, I don't know if it tried to take like a bunch of stuff Billy Graham said and sum it up, but he never said that quote. And it was like, well, no one actually said that quote. It was like, well, you just lied to me. You literally told me Billy Graham said that. He didn't say it.
Oh my gosh. Well, I could see people rewriting the Bible with AI, making it more gender inclusive.
Oh yeah, I know people who are like they put an AI looking for a Bible verse and rewrote the verse, and it was like that's not what that verse says. And he goes back and look at it. It was like they completely rewrote the verse.
Oh my gosh.
So I mean, it could be a tool like to help you, but it can't be your all in all. Like it can help guide you, may help you take that first step, but you need to go take those other steps on your own.
You got any warnings out there? You got any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think anytime you turn to technology to replace it, something that should be a personal relationship, you're in trouble.
Whether it's prayers, Bible verses, readings, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about like young guys trying to look for a girlfriend.
Yeah,
you're trying to search for it in a phone or using text messages. Like it never turns out good.
Yeah, you're right.
It should be personal. Your relationship with the Lord should be personal.
Well, and we see this. I was gonna play the clip, but I ain't gonna play it. With this guy basically giving his wife an ultimatum: you got to accept my AI girlfriend as an open marriage between us three. She's like, what? It ain't even real. People are getting hoodwinked. I want to segue a little bit to something else. We've been talking a lot lately about who's in your circle, who's in your ear, who's influencing you. And I've sat on this for 3 weeks, and I gotta just show you something that really had me concerned, because I have some questions, and I'm gonna air those questions. But I want you to watch this clip. It's with President Trump. Watch this clip.
Go ahead. You had talked a couple weeks ago, you were doing an interview, and you talked about how you hope to end the war in Ukraine because it might help you get into heaven. How does this help? Does this help?
I mean, I'm being a little cute. I don't think there's anything going to get me in heaven. Okay, I really don't. I think I'm not maybe heaven bound. I may be in heaven right now as we fly in Air Force One. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to make heaven.
What's your first thought?
Just Trump just being funny, just trying to just tell jokes.
You think so?
I don't
think
think
so.
so.
You don't think there's a part of that he means he doesn't know if he's going to heaven?
He looks like I ain't getting in.
Yeah, he did. He looked like some deer in the headlights. I know he said I'm just trying to be cute, but here's why I'm concerned. Out of all the big name pastors that have been around him in a circle, I'm not assuming. I'm just asking. Okay, has anybody not shared the gospel? Has anybody not said, hey, by stopping all these wars, it doesn't guarantee you a rite of passage? Like you still got to accept and receive Christ. I'm just concerned for him. I do believe, as everybody, when you start getting up in age like this, you start thinking about eternity. It starts becoming real. So I don't think there's not a genuineness to him, like, hey, I'm searching this out. But my thing is dude, your inner circle is failing you.
Well, I mean, we've met people who have the thought of I've done so much bad, God can never forgive me. So it's you still believe in God, but you have this false belief that you've done so much bad. And that, I don't know. That's what I got from him is man, a dude like me, this might be heaven for me on this airplane.
So let me just surmise what you said. If I hear you correctly, you're saying you feel like he's living in a place where I've done so much wrong. This is as good as I can get.
Yeah, heaven's gonna be a great place for you guys.
Well, listen,
and I believe in it, but probably not for me.
We've said this for the people who think we're, I don't know if you guys know this, but there's hardcore people out there who believe we're all in on Trump, we wave his flag and we're MAGA personified. People think that, right? Proud Boys.
Well, unfortunately for me, I probably get lumped in, but I don't know about you guys.
We get lumped in. We're with you.
Oh,
come on, man.
Welcome to the team.
Yeah, there you go. But it's funny is we've never once made any excuses for anything he's done wrong. We've never justified, condoned. We've actually spoke out against it. We've been very fair. And that's why I think it's so funny, right? We've called it as we see it, period, because we're kingdom first. We're not our own race first. We're not our own socioeconomic status first. We're kingdom first. And so when he does something outside the kingdom, we say it's foul, 15-yard penalty. What concerns me is, I keep saying this, the people around you really matters. These people around you in your circle, they really, really, really matter. They're determined whether or not you ascend up or you go down. And that just kind of saddens my heart. It kind of frustrates me. Like Trump, I know you're trying to do right with the war, which once again, we all celebrate. I mean, I'll be in Israel next week, right? So we all going to celebrate this. But in the same breath, it's yo, man, somebody should have pulled you aside and said, you can help out Israel all you want, but Jesus came to help you. And yeah, he more than likely did a lot of bad stuff. I mean, who are we kidding? What billionaire hasn't, right? And who's to say if we weren't billionaires, we wouldn't be doing bad stuff? That's probably true too. Okay. But even to say, hey, even all the bad you've done, heaven can still await you. No one's beyond redemption. No one's beyond redemption, right? Only 3 sins you can never be forgiven for. Blasphemy of the Holy Ghost, right? The mark of the beast, and the unfortunate one that a lot of people commit. You ready for this? One day too late. One day too late. He doesn't have to be subject to that. I don't know. Maybe I'm just too compassionate, too merciful. But am I making sense? I don't know who's in his ear. Hey, bro, we heard that. We heard that. No, let me spit at you the gospel a little bit real quick. I don't know.
I would think people told him about it. Yeah. I mean, I think it was a long time ago, so I can't remember it. They interviewed his son, and they're talking about after he got shot, and just the renewing, people were going to say, is Trump going to come out and say he's a believer? But just he said they did something in his family too to even believe. Now, what that lead to, I don't know. But I think people have talked to him about it.
You know, the reason I say this, if I can, the reason I say this is you've had a lot of people declare that he's the Cyrus of the Old Testament, right? This great king who wasn't really a believer, but he was a God-fearer type of deal, but never really has this personal walk with the Lord, but really blesses the people of God, whether it's the nation of Israel and the Christians, right? And I could see that. My heart is, and you guys have heard me say this before, I don't want anybody to go to hell. That's not, you don't wish that on anybody. So, and I believe you. I believe there have been people who've been in his ear. I just hope it penetrates. I really just hope it penetrates, because I do think God wants to use them, just like I think God wants to use every president. You know, I really do. I think that God wants to use these people in political office. So I just want to throw that out there. You know, there's a lot of stuff trending right now. I guess, you know, if Congress don't vote soon, there's not going to be no money. SNAP, EBT is all going away. I'm like, listen, y'all can agree to drop bombs on 3/4 of the world, but y'all can't pass a budget. This is on you guys. I don't want to hear nothing about right, left, this, holding hostages in the house. I don't want to hear nothing. You all seem to agree on getting a pay raise, taking some extended vacation. Like, y'all managed to work some stuff out. Y'all go be some big boys and big girls, get in the room and work it out. That's all I got to say. You know what I mean? Because I just get tired of hearing of it. Because all you hear when you turn on stuff is this and that and this and that. It's like, nah, man, y'all figured out how to make yourself get rich. You know what I mean? Like, it can't be that hard. I don't know. You can tell I'm frustrated right now, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, that's the assumption that, like, meeting in the middle is somewhere where people want to go these days. They don't care.
They don't care.
They don't care. What their SNAP EBT not going to come through on the 1st?
Exactly.
Yeah,
yeah, they're not affected by it.
And I think they get paid still.
They do. Hey, okay, so somebody, it's funny, I said this, somebody said to me the other day, say, hey, how would you fix it? Don't let them get paid.
I don't know how they get paid.
Okay, well, taxpayers.
No, I mean, I know how they
okay.
get paid. I
see FICA? You see FICA on your paycheck? That's them.
I don't know how they're exempt from that.
Okay, somebody said, how would you get them to come to an agreement? I said 2 things. They said what? I said, take away their Congress credit card. No free ride. And don't pay them. How long you really think that's going to last? Man, ain't going to last. Man, they get used to that Congress credit card.
You should have incentives.
Yeah.
Like how many times you show up to vote.
Yeah. It should be an incentive, huh? That's how you get paid.
You don't show up to vote, you don't get paid.
Don't be giving me this absent, abstain, or whatever it is. Yeah, no, anyway. So that's why I didn't want to get into that too much. So I came across a clip and talking about, once again, who's in your circle, right? We've been kind of harping on this. And the reason I am is because I'm still going off of what I said, maybe it was a week or 2 ago. It's just been kind of resonating with me. I don't know if you guys have been thinking about it much anymore, but I was talking about being pastored and being discipled, and how the difference is us as pastors, we want to love on people. We want them to know they're seen, they're heard, and they're cared for. But in order to be discipled, if I could use it this way, you've got to carry more of that load than we do. Does that make sense? So in order to be discipled, you've got to carry that load. You got to carry that water. You got to do the heavy lifting. I can continue to set things up and put things in place, but you got to actually do it. Now, the pastor, no, I'm going to do that. I'm going to call you. I'm going to check in on you. I'm going to see you. I'm going to hear you. But to be discipled, Jesus said, I'm going to do a miracle. You make them sit in groups of 50 and 100. I'm going to do the miracle, but you cast the net and you haul in the fish. I'm going to do the miracle, but you got to get out of the boat and walk on the water. You see where I'm going with this? I'm going to do the miracle, but you got to roll away the stone for Lazarus. And you've even got to undress him from the cloth that he was wrapped up in. Jesus is always doing the miracle. But let's go to the Old Testament. He told the widow of Zarephath, you got to go collect the jugs, but I'll do the miracle. Does this all make sense? I'm saying that because people are getting these lines blurred. And they keep thinking it's the pastor's responsibility to do everything. Hey, this is Anthony from the Not Offended Podcast, the Conservative Chicano. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you could hit the like button, the subscribe button, and share this link, we'd greatly appreciate it. Okay, before we get on to the recap of this message, right, which we got to get to, I because we all do love sports, since I was talking about it. We had a big scandal last week. Kash Patel comes out, director of the FBI. They did a sting. And the NBA's in trouble. Correct me if I'm wrong. Terry Rozier. Was it Terry Rozier? Not Mike Rozier. Terry Rozier, right? I feel like one was a football player, one's a basketball player. But Rozier, he played for Portland. No, the Heat.
Yeah, I think he's with the Heat now.
Okay, but who else did he play for?
I don't know.
Okay.
Charlotte.
So he's played for a couple NBA
Yeah.
teams, got busted in cooking the books gambling, right? Now these are called prop bets, if I'm not mistaken. And then we had Chauncey Billups and who else was in on the poker thing?
Damon Jones.
David Jones. Okay. I'm going somewhere with this. Basically, all these people got busted with what I understood was the 4 crime families. The Nuestra familia, right? Not Nuestra, not one's Italian, one's Mexican. But anyway.
East Coast Italians,
Yeah,
not West Coast.
Yeah, not
Cholos.
West Coast. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Cosa Nostra. Thank you. Yeah, the Cosa Nostra. Yeah. My question to you is, 2, are we witnessing the great fall of a great idol called basketball or sports betting in general? And is this something the NBA and sports in general recovers from? Let's start with the first one. Let's start with the second one. It's low-hanging fruit. Does the NBA recover from this?
They make it sound like it's going to get bigger. I mean, it's going to go over to college. They make it sound like it's about to go to college.
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
They
college football.
Yeah, it is. And what I've heard is, because what I heard 2 things, just if I can. Number one, they said they got some refs. Who are admitting that they were in collusion with players.
Ooh, I think that might be bigger.
Yeah,
deal.
this has been pretty big. This is getting pretty big. I don't know anything. They're just saying these are the rumors that are out there. Like they've got more people. They just gave you who they wanted you to see, is what they're saying. Wasn't there a ref 4 or 5 years ago that got popped?
The NBA, yeah, they did a Netflix thing on him.
Okay, so in other words, it's not far-fetched again.
No.
Next I heard, I was on the college thing. There's been some prop bets. There's been some stuff going on. Fake injuries, stuff like this.
Yeah, the kids from Fresno State got in trouble.
Okay, so my question, they did actually. You're right, even local. My question to you is, and I'm just asking, can sports recover from this, or is that idol? Because it is an idol for people. Sports is an idol for people. It's a big American idol. Does sports recover if this goes all the way deep and it starts tingling up some names, some star-studded names? Does sports recover? And is this the fall of an idol? Are we witnessing the fall? What say you?
Sports recovers. We're not witnessing the fall of an idol.
Too big to fail, in your opinion? Or
yeah, I think that like as far as like the crime families that were involved in this one, I think that's who they really want. I think that's who the FBI really wants. I don't think the FBI really cares too much about Chauncey Billups and all these other athletes. I think they're faces that allow them to get airtime. To bring the bigger issue of those crime families. I think that's who they truly want. So I think that once...
I never thought, to be honest, I never thought about it like that, what you just said. Yeah, because if you put up the head of the mob's face, no one's going to, I don't know who he is. But if you put up Chauncey, come on, I remember Chauncey.
Yeah.
The dance, yeah.
Yeah, so... Yeah, I don't think that we're going to see the fall of that. We may see, like Deshaun said, there may be bigger names, things like that might come out in this, but I mean, we're a week into it, and they're not even like playing it anymore. So, here's the thing: like, there's too much money that's involved. There's too many people that are still making money off this. There's too many casinos and different things that are tied to major sports. So you're not going to see the fall of that.
What are your thoughts? Go ahead.
Yeah, one of the arguments people make now is it needs to be legalized. Because the more
which part? Go ahead.
Gambling.
Okay.
Because if it's legal, they can track it. You can get caught. And so a big thing for all these big companies like DraftKings and FanDuel is they're just like, hey, we want to rat people out because we want to be on the side of the government because they're the ones that can stop us. So we want this to continue to grow. So for them to have illegal betting, like they don't want that because they want everything be above board, be legit, and be good in with all the leagues and with the government.
Can you explain to us people out there who don't understand, what do you mean they can track it?
What they can see is something's off. If certain betting comes in, like, someone gives information LeBron's not going to play, then we all of a sudden start see all these people giving, like, betting towards that way. Okay, this isn't the regular trend. So they can start tracking trends and know something's off, and they can report that.
Okay, why not just get rid of prop betting? Can you let me for prop betting? What they do is they give it's called propositional betting. In other words, so like the guy for the Dodgers, the Japanese guy,
is he going to pitch 7 innings tonight,
or is the first pitch going to be a strike? Something that they can control by themselves, that they don't need any outside influence. They can literally control it. So how do we know that? Because this last year there was speculation that a Major League Baseball player intentionally threw a ball when the first prop bet was a strike. And so there was a little bit of controversy there. That's prop betting. So why don't they just get rid of, or same thing with free throw, right? The first play is going to be a foul and a free throw and all this. Why don't they just, by the way, did you know you could even do the coin toss? You could even prop bet the coin toss. And who's going to call the coin toss? So why not just get rid of prop betting?
I think prop betting is like where they're getting a lot of the money from just the average Joe. It's fun, for guys. I don't bet, but I'm
too broke to bet. Is that where we're at?
But I'm on a text thread with some friends that I grew up with, and like they were talking about stuff that I didn't even know about when it came to prop betting. But there's like you can get around with groups of friends, and you're sitting there. What's going to be the next play? And you're just throwing money, and so the money is just being thrown out there like crazy. Where it's like old school bookie style. You taking the points, you're not taking the points. I think this is generating so much revenue that I think it'd be hard for them to get rid of it.
Yeah. Yeah, this is, my personal opinion is I'm reserving my comment on is it going to, do they recover or not? I think, and I could be wrong, and I'm totally, you guys know I love football. I'm totally open to being wrong. I think if it gets down to where they can actually prove some stuff in the Super Bowl was rigged, I think you're going to have a lot of disgruntled people. I really do. And I think it's going to take a hit. It's going to take a hit. It really will, because you're going to get some of that Chiefs games. Was it really the refs? Because that's what everybody was complaining about.
Was it a tuck?
Yeah, exactly. Don't do that to me. Don't. Because we all know he fumbled. Even Tom Brady told Charles Woodson, I fumbled. I mean, let's just be honest. But you're going to get that, and I think you're going to lose some people because you've already got people who are on the edge anyway. So that's just my thought. Yeah. Okay. So I just had to throw that out there because people were asking me about it. Let's talk about this past weekend sermon. I talked about, we're doing the message recap, and I really want to drive this home. I talked a lot about coming out of darkness and into the light. Just reading the audience, you're never supposed to do that, but just the faces of the people. The part that, and you guys, if you think I read it wrong, just correct me. The part that I noticed that most people were not shocked by, but taken back by. Okay, because I try not to use the word shock, but taken back by was when I said there are areas of your life that are still in darkness, and you need to bring it to the light. And I said, hey, listen, I'll pick on me. And I watched the video again. This is why I said this. I'll pick on me. I realize, and I say this unashamedly, that there's areas of my life that are in darkness that I need Christ to reveal the light in. And see, even now, I can see you guys, and I said, I can see you guys getting squirmy, like, oh, Pastor just admitted you got, areas of life in darkness. Well, yeah, because I don't know what I don't know. It's called being deceived for a reason, right? And I made the tongue-in-cheek joke, like, I don't know when I have a booger hanging out of my nose unless somebody tells me. Why do people have a hard time admitting? And why do pastors have a hard time? Why do just Christians in general admitting that there are probably areas in your life, not probably, I'm sure there is, areas of life that are still in darkness, and we need the Holy Spirit to shine the light? I mean, what would you say? Why is that so hard to admit?
I mean, what I could see people admit it. I mean, maybe not that language. I think the language. Okay.
It's my language.
No,
the darkness.
The darkness. Okay. But I think that people realizing that. I mean that doesn't necessarily bother me, but I think that could be like, okay, what does that mean? Because we all know that you're still being sanctified. That there's still areas of your life you're still growing in, that the Holy Spirit's still working on.
Okay, so so if I could have chose better language, I mean, it was darkness.
No, I mean, I don't know if this will make a difference to anyone.
Oh, okay.
I'm not. That's not the point I'm trying to necessarily argue. But I mean, that could be the only thing. Like for me personally, that's what I heard. I was like, but I'm not arguing because I agree with it. You know, it's just a choice of terms.
Right.
But people can all realize that hey, there's no one perfect, and you don't have to walk and try to understand that. You don't have to. You can be honest about it. Now, obviously, you're going to be slow to tell everyone everything, but you can be honest that, hey, you're not Jesus. You don't live in this perfection. The apostles didn't live in this perfection, and you don't have to either. Now, we're trying to attain that, and we're trying to get better and better and better, but you're still going to make mistakes.
What about you, Mike?
Yeah, I think maybe some pastors feel that pressure of having to live up to some sainthood for their congregation, and if they're not walking in some kind of like perfect light, then people will leave the church. I don't know. I mean, I'm just throwing that out there.
I think too, people don't want to follow someone that's not ahead of them. So what does that mean? And when you say like you're in darkness, it was like, well,
we don't want to be struggling together. How are we going to struggle together? You need to be pulling me rather than us pushing together.
Yeah, because they see you in a certain way. That's why they're willing to listen to you because, hey, you're farther than me. Like you're ahead of me. And so but you do have to remind people that you're not perfect. But they're saying like, no, you're doing something special. You're saying no to your flight. And I want to follow your footsteps.
Sure.
So, but if you're just like me, then why am I going to follow you?
Okay, I could totally see that. But isn't there also a danger of having a false humility? In other words, AKA pride. And you think you're so better than everybody else that you're not even attainable?
Definitely. But also you can't use that as an excuse of not be better. So I think that's I think that's the balance of what you're saying. Like, this is the idea of like, oh no, I'm so great, but it's all deal like, well, don't use that excuse to be living up in sin. You can't be up in the club next to your church members saying, I'm just like you. Like,
I'm just a fallen man.
Yeah.
I'm one day at a time.
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah. I guess this is just my thought. That's an Anthonyism. When Jesus said, take the low seat, rather you get promoted than demoted. I'd rather take the low seat. I'd rather sit on the other side of the table and have somebody go, hey, Mr. Flores, but your seat was right here. Because I'm watching way too many big preachers, right, take the high seat, and then they got higher to fall. And I don't believe, okay, I saw this clip of Carl Lentz. I believe he was sincere. Whether it was sincerely right or sincerely wrong, I believe he was sincere. I believe that part of his own personal sexuality was in darkness. But do I believe Carl Lentz was sincere when he was trying to lead people to Christ? 100%. 100%. I think he cared whether or not people went to heaven or hell. I really do. I can look you both in the eyes and say 100%. But I also think he equally cared about his own sexual desires too, because it was raging out of control. How can you be sincere in two things? Because that area of your life is in darkness. And I just don't think he admitted it. I don't think he confessed it to anybody. I don't think he admitted to anybody. I don't think every time he went to the bar with Justin Bieber, he felt right. I don't think so. I just think he got so used to that darkness, he didn't realize it was dark no more. That's all I'm saying, bro. That's why I even chose that terminology. That part in Timothy, the last part, verse 7, that literally scared me. You could have all the knowledge, but it never leads you to the truth. In other words, you sitting there in church, you over here chat GPT and everything, you getting all the answers to every area of Christendom that there was. You're a walking freaking almanac / thesaurus, but you can't figure out how to love your wife. And the Bible commands it. You know what I heard a preacher once say? You know what the Bible says you need to love your wife? Because you get mad if somebody else did. I was like, well, that was pretty practical. That was a great way of putting it. But that's all I'm saying. That's why I'd rather get up and say, listen, I realize that I don't know what I don't know. So there are areas of my life that are in darkness. And I'm not saying that because I'm out there looking for an excuse to sin. I try my hardest to be the man that's honorable, to honor God. But I'm also saying, listen, if you catch me in a blind spot, I'm not going to be arrogant and prideful and say that's not a blind spot. That's why I'd rather come up here and tell you, I realize there's some things I got to work on. And if you catch me slipping one day, okay, come talk to me. Let's pray on it. I'm not above receiving prayer nor correction. Because why? Because I'm not going to put off that false humility. When I know that I still am a fallible person, but I am struggling right now. I'm on my grind. I'm on my P's and Q's when it comes to walking out my faith in Christ. I'm constantly trying to be challenged. I'm constantly trying to be, chiseled on by the maker, right? I'm on the wheel. I'm on the potter's wheel. That's all. That's what I'm saying. But I felt like I need a model for you all. If I can admit there's areas of my life in darkness, can you admit there's areas of life, your life in darkness? That was my rationale behind that. I do see where you're coming from. I guess for me, I'm just a little put off by all these people who act like they got their stuff together. You know what I mean? And they're the ones who are falling from grace. And I'm like, but dog, a year ago you said you had it all figured out. That was my concern.
Yeah, I mean, and I think from somebody in the congregation, like, we appreciate that. We appreciate the transparency, because it does allow us to say, yeah, like, I got some stuff I need to work on, or, man, what are those things that I'm missing?
Okay, I'm glad you said that. Okay, so what are those things you're missing? I went on to give some examples, okay, if I can. This is where we're getting into the part where we should be getting into. This is where we're going to go deeper in this message. Should Christians be watching those scary movies? Should they be watching those exorcism movies, those demon-possessed movies, where they're like full-on people manifesting demonically? Like, should Christians be really watching that stuff? Or are you allowing a foul spirit into your life? Now, I know what I'm going to say, but I'm just, what do you guys say to a believer who says, hey, should I be watching the exorcism? You say what?
No.
Well, why not, Pastor Mike? Why should I not be watching it?
Well, I mean, one of the things that one of the words that you had used yesterday was imprinting. And I thought that was a really good, just as a dad, to be able to communicate that to my kids. I mean, because there's, as far as like, hey, should you be watching this? I mean, some things are pretty like cut and dry, right? Right. Like when I'm explaining things to my kids, like, hey man, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't do that. But like explaining imprinting to them, I think is extremely beneficial. Like, because you used the example of Freddy Krueger, and that being something that you had seen years ago, and still being able to see through that lens.
Yeah.
Years later. But then on another note, like, you're opening the doors to the demonic by watching stuff like that, by partaking in certain things, by hanging out with certain people, by allowing certain things into your house.
Yeah.
And I literally was at the Fresno State game Saturday. Don't know why, but I was there. And I'm on the phone with a friend of mine, and he's asking for prayer because of a situation where his sister's basically being tormented at night through her dreams.
Oh wow! I said that.
And I'm like, wow, hey, this is crazy. And I wasn't at liberty because I'm at the game and I got the band like right next to me to kind of walk him through certain things. But I mean, my questions were going to be, what doors are open?
Absolutely.
What have you been seeing? Who you've been having over? Who you've been hanging out with? Because all those things really do matter. And so if you want those negative things in your life, then you open the door for those negative things. But if you don't, I don't like being tormented.
No,
I like
my sleep. Yep.
I like to sleep. I like peace. I like peace in my home. I like a happy marriage. I like healthy kids. I like all that stuff. I would prefer not to.
Well, we know you didn't grow up watching any of that stuff. We know that because that was never allowed in your house. But I'm asking you now because you've grown. You have your own house. Scary movies. Should people be watching Hellraiser, Nightmare on Elm Street, who is it? Jason X now, whatever he is. Like, should we really be watching all this stuff as believers?
I got to watch Casper the Friendly Ghost. I watched that.
Big sinning right now, boy. That's big sinning right now.
I feel like I need to scoot over.
I know. I feel like
I just said I got to watch out who I hang out with.
Yeah, no, man. Now that you told us, that's it.
No, but I bring that up because like, I probably wouldn't let my kids watch that.
Okay.
It's got sort of how I would judge things. Even scary movies, of course not. I don't understand. Like even Star Wars, I let my kids watch some of it, and I realized like, man, should I have let them watch it? Especially my daughter. My son sleeps. He sleeps together. He hits the pillow and he's gone.
Ain't no looking back on that. How he gone?
He gone. And so, I sort of like the debates I'm having. I'm just like, watching a scary movie is just so far out. Like for me, at least in my family.
Okay, so I guess going back to that, that's one of the questions I ask people when they say their kids are having nightmares. I'm like, what are you letting them watch? I think I'm going to give you 3 realities. Shout out Chris Hodges. We're talking about spiritual warfare. I literally stole it from him because the way he articulated was everything I believe and the best way to articulate it. The number one thing the devil wants you to believe is that he's not real. The devil is real. People get demonically possessed. People can get themselves full of demons. You can serve Satan. You can open yourself up to the occult. I said it yesterday. I know we made a joke about it, but you can't say you're a Christian in a Libra. That's not how that works. You either a Christian or not. I love, by the way, this was an Anthony example. I'm taking full credit for it because I had never heard it before. I'm saying it now. You can't go worship God on his holy mountain and bring your golden calf. I know I'm just quoting a verse, but you know what I'm saying. Like, I framed it that way. And people think they can go to their church and have their little demon worship too. You can't do it. And I think it's time we need to serve notice that the devil is real, and he wants to what? Keep you in darkness. He wants to destroy you. He absolutely wants to ruin your marriage. He wants to take out your kids. He wants to ruin your life personally. Pastor Randy Bezet said the devil is a loser and he's a liar. He's just not a quitter. He's going to continue to wreak havoc in your life. So why are we opening up the doors, Bishop? Why are we doing this to ourselves? We wonder why we're defeated. We handicapped ourselves. But am I right or am I wrong on that?
I mean, some stuff people just don't know any better.
Okay, then our job as pastors is to what? Educate.
Yeah, and people just don't know. Like, I mean, I think people play with a lot of different things, or watching things, or entertaining the wrong relationships because they think, it's okay, until you find yourself in a spot where you're not okay and you're wondering what happened. But it's not a big deal until it becomes a big deal. And then you're looking back, like, man, what happened? I was like, well, look at all the stuff you did. And I think some people are ignorant about it, or some people just like, they don't want to change, even when they do find out.
Okay, but ignorance, that goes back to what I'm saying. You don't know what you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the number one way the devil would like to keep you is ignorant. That darkness. Eliamas, right? What did you think about when I said that? Do you find it strange that Paul struck him with blindness? Or I found it like it was, to me, I felt like it was very fitting. You've been in spiritual blindness this whole time. Now I'm going to show you physically what you've been experiencing spiritually. I don't know. Had you ever heard that one before? Where I correlated those two?
I don't think so. Yeah.
The reason I say that though, because I truly believe what happens spiritually will happen physically. Like it's gonna play itself out. Now I put this in my notes too, just real quick, because we're gonna talk about it today. I'm not fearing anybody. I'm not fearing anybody's judgments. Because here's the thing. I said it yesterday. I'll say it every time. The good news is y'all grown. Like, I do not need to live this life for you. I'm just simply educating you. I'm so you can't claim ignorance. That's all I'm doing. But here's the good news. I'm going to love you no matter what. You can still go do everything you want to do. I'm still going to love you. Okay? But I'm just not living this life for you. Okay? That's all I got to say. But haunted houses. What business you got as a believer going to a haunted house? I'm just asking. Go ahead. I mean, we already there now. We might as well keep going.
I think it goes back to kind of what Deshaun was saying, and I was thinking when he was speaking, like, I think people really feel like they have a lot more control than they really do.
Okay.
And it's just that false reality that we live in, to where you take a couple steps in and then you realize, oh man, I didn't realize how deep I am.
Okay.
But then the unfortunate thing is, even when you realize where you're at, you don't always equate where you're at to how you got there.
Okay. All right.
And what I mean by that is, like, okay, I watch all this stuff. I go to haunted houses. Okay, all of a sudden, like, I just feel afraid. I feel afraid. You know, I'm scared all the time. Well, I recognize that I'm afraid all the time, or I recognize my kids are afraid, but I'm not correlating between that feeling or those feelings and the fact that I just took all my kids to the haunted house on Friday. And it's like, oh, that's why they're afraid. And maybe that's part of that blindness that you're speaking of. Is like we feel like we can do whatever we want to do because, you know, hey, worst case scenario, we just pray about it. And so we do whatever we want to do. We live this lifestyle, whatever it is that we choose to do, because oftentimes we don't listen to anybody else except for ourselves, because the buck stops with us. And then we end up lying in the bed that we made, but we don't like put it all together.
You want to add to that? Oh, you got a funny story about a haunted house, don't you? I can see it.
So on Friday, we were
exactly. He like, I went to Hobbs Grove over there.
Oh yeah, I used to go to haunted houses all the time.
Okay.
Like,
did your mom and dad
before
know?
we were friends.
What?
Did your mom and dad know?
Probably not.
Yeah.
He's a rebel.
No, I mean, I say that to say this. You know, the demonic. I mean, it's never like. I was never afraid of it.
Sure.
Like, it doesn't bother me. My mom always told me, ain't got no power. Jesus is powerful.
I'm gonna get to that one too.
It's something that's always my mindset. I don't care. You say something's demonic, I don't care. Like,
Right.
Jesus is with me.
Yeah.
Like, it can leave. Like,
Yeah.
I'm out of, like, you out. I'm in here now.
Yeah.
Like, I own the spot. And so, but even with that, if when you come to the knowledge, you're saying there's ignorance, even if you feel like it's not like, you know, bothering you, do what's right.
Go ahead.
Like, it doesn't matter. A lot of times you feel like, oh man, I can get away. It does not bother me, or it's okay. It was like, no, what is right though? Just because you feel like you can get away with it right now doesn't mean that it's the right thing you should be doing. Like, you feel like, oh, I'm not having bad dreams, but it's like, is it right? Is it edifying God, or are you playing with something that you shouldn't be playing with in this moment? You know, because it's even more than just you, but it's what, you know, you influence other people and people around you. And I think, man, I don't know if you mentioned it or another time I listened to, but it's like, it's more than just about you. And so being cautious of that, like, no, just walk in obedience no matter what. It's like, that's what I feel like for me.
Man, you said something that was powerful. And can I add on to that? You said maybe it's not bothering you, but wouldn't it matter if it bothers your kids?
Oh, yeah. Oh, and then that's the thing that, gets me.
Okay, so what I'm saying is, say like, yeah, you ain't put off by watching Nightmare on Elm Street, but now your kids is freaked out. So isn't it just worth knowing that, hey, I shouldn't have to put my kids through that?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, okay, I agree with you. We grown. Like, ain't too much. You know, I was telling the joke on Sunday about my own shadow scaring me and stuff, but that's real though, because you that dark alley, you get a little spooked, right? But you know, I wasn't lying about when I saw that guy sitting up there. I couldn't figure out if he was real or not, you know, because it's too dark. Like, are you seeing things or whatever? But I'm also sitting there thinking, like, I'm already planning out if dude takes a swipe at me, then I'm gonna come over here, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna get him down right. You know, like, because we're grown. So yeah, unless he's got a weapon, you already feeling a little confident. But that's not how you feel if your kids are with you. You'd be sitting here like, oh, how am I going to get my kids safe?
Totally
like,
different.
Thank you. And I think most people aren't counting that cost. Like, there are people who are following you. Like, you're not just responsible for you, you're responsible for other people too. Now you're responsible for your wife too. Because God looks at you as being the man. Like, you gotta answer for her too.
Yeah, I'm going with my friends and just like, it's a witness to them. Why don't you, like, no, I don't deal, that's spiritually dark. I don't deal with stuff like that. Like, why I walk in the darkness intentionally when I'm supposed to be a child of the light?
Thank you. That's the whole premise of what I'm saying. If you're supposed to be in the light, then stay in the light. Stay in the light. So I'm gonna clarify some things real quickly. You guys want to chime in, you can, but I'm not expecting you to. Got into a little bit of hot water yesterday because I talked about Dia de los Muertos, right? I talked about the Day of the Dead, and you know, in the Hispanic culture, this is a big deal, and we bring out our ofrendas. And
notice he said we didn't have to chime in.
Yeah, you guys don't have to chime in. I can take this one on the chin myself.
I don't care.
All right, that's why I'm saying you don't need to get yourself in trouble. I can do it all by myself. Here's what I did say. I said, listen, I understand culturally we want to honor those who have passed, but let me say three things, and then I'm gonna get back to the three things from Pastor Chris. Okay, number one, there is something about honoring where you've come from and the people who've brought you here and helped you to get to where you are. I'm not saying nothing disrespectful about my grandfather, my grandmother, all these people who helped me to be who I am and given me opportunities, okay? But the way I honor them is not on a single day. And it's not about giving offerings and even asking them to come visit me or me praying to them. Listen, and I mean this with all sincerity, they are past. They're gone. They're dead. Yes, they may be spiritually alive right now, but physically they're gone. There's nothing they can do for me. David said, and I quote, he said, I cannot bring my son to where I am, but I can go to where my son is. I said that yesterday. I said, listen, they cannot come to where we are, but we can go to where they are. And that's the choice we got to choose. So if you want to honor them, you don't do it on a single day. You do it by the way you live your life. You do it by putting respect on the last name that you carry around with you. That's how you do it. We don't do this by dressing up. Now, I get it. Listen, I got no problem if you want to put a picture up of your grandparents. I got no problem with that. But you do that all 365 days of the year, not one night. But you don't leave offerings. They're not coming back to visit. That's not how this works, especially as a believer. You cannot mix East and West. Going back to the story of Elimas. You can't mix. You can't say you're a prophet of God, but yet you speaking on behalf of Balaam. Balaam. We can't do this. You can't say you're a prophet of God, but yet you speaking for Beelzebub. It's not how that works. And so I just want to put that shout out to mi gente right there, right? Like, you guys got to understand, we don't need to do all this. We serve Jesus now. And over the doorframe of this house and of my life is the better blood, which is Jesus. And anything he need to say to Grandpa who's moved on, he can say to Grandpa. I don't need to say it to him. But I know what Grandpa's got one request. Hey, he'll get up here to where I am. That's what his request is. Not, did you put my picture up and give me some offerings, some conchas or something. You know what I mean? If you don't know what that is, you can Google all that. All right, there you go.
Heaven ain't got no bread.
Yeah, they got manna from heaven, right? Okay, so Pastor Chris said 3 things about spiritual warfare we all need to be aware of, okay? And we'll take it home on this note, and then you guys can chime on any one of the 3, all right? But let's not all choose the same thing so we can help our people. Because Deshaun, can I say something? Your pastor's heart always shows. I do believe there are people who are ignorant. Part of it is the culture we grew up in, right? I was talking to Elsa about this. We got things like, y'all probably like the evil eye. I mean, we got all these types of things, little superstitions, right?
All kinds of stuff to make you afraid.
All kinds of stuff. It really, actually,
Act right.
It really is. But my point is, I do believe there's a level of just blindness. Just we don't know. So I do believe we can move with kindness and compassion and be sensitive to that too. Okay, I agree. You're 100% right. Okay, just so you know. Chris Hodges said 3 things. Pick any one of the 3. I think they're all great, and then we'll piggyback off the other person didn't choose. Real quickly though, before I get just something real funny, because this might get a little heavy. So I told y'all last week, talking about me admitting my faults. Okay, I told y'all about how I watch the game sometimes. Do you guys remember in my truck what I do?
Oh, yeah, on the dash.
Somebody watching the podcast last week, they immediately blow me up, and they go, I do the same thing.
I'm doing that right
I'm
now.
doing it right now. You know who you are. Shout out. You know who you are. We go back and forth,
That's
dying
worse, 'cause
laughing.
you can just listen to it. There's nothing to watch.
Listen, hold on. I'm telling you right now, we're going back and forth, just dying laughing. This person goes on to tell me they've been busted before. Like people have seen it and saw that they were watching something. Gosh. I just started laughing. Okay, I just had to say it. Okay, sorry. I digress. He says, number 1, the devil is real. The Bible says, and I think it's 2 Corinthians, that the enemy, Lucifer, masquerades like an angel of light. That he's real though. Number 2, the devil desires to destroy us. John 10:10. And number 3, I love this part. You said it a minute ago. The devil responds, the demonic responds to a higher authority. Know who you are in Jesus. I thought that was pure gold. So I don't know which one you want to choose, but we're going to start with you first, Bishop. Choose any one of the 3. It's up on the TV if you need to look at it too. But which one do you want to just? I want you to expound on why you chose this one, and then give somebody a golden nugget on how to apply it.
Yeah, I'll do number 3, just a higher authority, higher power. And this is something I'm really grateful for my wife about, and just her spiritual sensitivity, just like for my house, because the biggest thing for me is like, I don't worry about me, I worry about my kids.
Oh, okay.
Like, I don't want them to be afraid in my house. And anything that disrupts that, I get mad about. Like someone said something to my kids one time about they had to be afraid at home, and I was pretty upset. Like no, when you get home, you're safe.
Okay.
Mom and dad are here. And I always want them to feel that way, whether it's physically or spiritually. Okay. And for her, I'm just grateful to have her to be sensitive to that, especially in my house. Like, hey, if there's something going on, like I want to pray about it, or I want that. Just the way my wife is really able to talk to my kids and explain these things and pray with them and walk it through it, and the freedom they get to have, like I'm super grateful for, because it may be something that I can't do like she can, and so I'm really grateful for that.
No, I love it. I love it. Thank you. What about you, Mike? What you going with?
I'll go with number 1. Okay. The devil is real. I was at a football game on Friday, and it was...
devil was there.
I was like, what's so funny? What happened?
Sorry.
Maybe I missed it.
No, I'll tell you later.
Okay, and so...
we want to hear now. I don't know why you asked it later.
There's this lady... and she's walking around with a sweatshirt that says support your local coven.
No.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's a mom on the team. It's a 6th grade football game.
Coven, as in witch's coven.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is it got like an image?
It got a pentagram upside down. I'm like, yeah.
Out of here.
Yeah. I mean, she looked like it too.
Yeah. So the devil was there.
Hey.
The devil was there.
Mm-hmm. Full effect. And so I think that sometimes I mean, so I didn't grow up in church, so like this, it's not new to me, but it's a new concept in the sense of like I didn't grow up with it. But and so when I think like, hey, the devil is real, I didn't always know kind of like how that plays out in life. But there are people who literally worship Satan. There are people who pray prayers against believers. There are people who pray prayers against us as neighbors. And so, like, this stuff really does take place. I mean, it would be nice if everybody walked around with Support Your Local Coven sweatshirts so we know exactly who this is. Oh, yeah. But the reality is, like, you know, the bruja that's across the street from you, you know, like, she's probably doing some stuff, too. And, like, so this stuff is real. And I think we don't give it enough attention. We sometimes will just, I think you had mentioned it in your message yesterday, it's, you know, the addiction that you're fighting. It's the relationship with your spouse. It's the sickness that you may have. Like some of those things are physical, but also some of those things are spiritual. And I remember going through some of the stuff that we went through when we were trying to buy the Tower Theater, and just some of the stuff that was being unearthed about what happens in Fresno, you know, underground tunnels and all kinds of just stuff that I was like, wait, what? This stuff is real, and the devil is real. And we can't just dismiss that. I mean, it's not in every single thing, but it is in some things.
Man, both of you, that was good. I don't know what I can add. And I mean, if I can, on all three of those, if I could just say this, it might be a spiritual battle. It just might be. I think a lot of times we think it's something we're going through. Oh, this is just my anxiety. It's possible. But it's also possible the devil might be tormenting you. I just feel like I need a drink. Or is the devil suggesting that? It might just be spiritual. And I don't think I know I can do better in this, and I need to do better in this. But I need to teach our people that it might be a spiritual battle. You keep fighting with your spouse, it might be the devil. And what I mean by that, he might be playing into your insecurities and setting you up. Listen, only the devil could set up a king on the top of a castle looking down at a naked woman. He set it up. And I think people fail to see this, that if you look at Jesus' life when he went to, well, I'll be there. When he went to Temptation Mountain, the first thing he hit him with was what? Practicality. You're hungry. And the devil said, turn it into bread, because you know you can. So he is going to attack us, if I can, in practical ways. The next one, I'll give you all the kingdoms of the world, right? Mm-hmm. What? He's going to attack your pride. Hey, see, you got to see, you know, to the men, you got to see that you still got it. Look at that. She hitting on you. You got that, dog. You the man still. It's not just you a dog, but it's also temptation. You know how he fights women? Loneliness. See, that guy's showing interest in you. You don't got to be lonely no more. You got to be alone tonight. Well, I don't know how I felt for a guy like that, because you was lonely. You see where I'm going with this? Mm-hmm. We got to understand, he attacks in practical and he attacks in pride. But he also attacks in power. He overpowers you. You ever just been tormented by a thought? You just can't shake it? No, that's called oppression. Can I just say to people, it might just be spiritual. And if it's this hard for you as a grown adult, how much harder is it for your kids? Something we never think about. Something we got to really be aware of. Maybe what Mija's going through really is spiritual. And you got to fast and pray as the parent to be like, hey, I need to figure out what's going on here. Is this something I need to take care of? Like, you need to win it on your knees. I'm not impressed with people's theology all the time. I'm impressed with the kneeology. Do you know how to fight those spiritual battles? And I think that's what, maybe what Mijo's going through is, yeah, not only is there a witch on his team, but there's also a warlock on the team. And maybe what you need to do is step up your prayer life. And now that they've exposed themselves, you know how to pray. It might just be spiritual. Now, hopefully people know us. I mean, y'all know me. I don't ever do there's a devil behind every doorknob. That ain't me. I don't think just because I got a close parking spot at Costco that the Lord favors me. Won't he do it?
Yes, he will.
Right? But that's not me. Y'all know that. You know what I mean? But I do know when there's something going on that's out of place and out of pocket. Fingernails, clumps of hair, little things left behind. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Little stuff. Pentagrams on church property. Remember that? Dead pigeons, dead chickens. I could go on. I told everybody today, we live in the spiritual height of the community. We live in the satanic area. We pastor over here. We know what's going down. Yeah, I don't go overboard. I don't talk about it much, but I'm also acutely aware of where I pastor at. It might just be spiritual. So before you dismiss it, this is all I want to say. Before you dismiss it, you might want to pray about it. You might want to ask the Holy Spirit, am I under attack? Is there an enemy trying to fight me? Because I will say this, one of the greatest people I think we all respect is Daniel. And that angel told Daniel, from the moment you prayed, God sent me to give you an answer. But it took me 21 days to fight to get here. I'm just throwing that out there, okay? So it might just be spiritual. Hey, listen, we're praying for you. Be praying for us. Our outreach is this week. We love and appreciate y'all. Spend out for the podcast. Peace. We're out.